If you enjoy our podcast, please like and subscribe and consider becoming a digital subscriber to the Albuquerque Journal to help us bring you more content like this. You can find this episode and all of our podcasts on the Albuquerque Journal website, abqjournal.com, as well as YouTube, iTunes, and Spotify. See the show notes for a discount code on a digital subscription. Thank you for supporting the Albuquerque Journal, New Mexico's leading news.
Hello and welcome to another episode of What's Bugging You. I'm your host, Chesley Elkins. This is my co-host.
I'm Brian Victor, and we are again pleased to be here with a couple special guests. Before we get to that, a word from our sponsor.
Preventive Pest Control. Taking care of the pests you see and the ones you don't see. Preventive Pest Control. It's as simple as that.
We are excited to be here again with the infamous Michael Swanson.
I am honored more than I can ever express.
Academy High School's pride, their pride and joy of Academy High School right here.
I was in the top 60%.
Nice. Well, I was like top 60% of Steve Blood. So I think I'm smarter than you, I think is what it is. And we're pleased to be here with Mr. Coy Sanchez.
Yep, happy to be here. Thanks, guys.
He works a lot of pest experience, and he's been helping us in the office doing a lot of stuff, talking to customers and troubleshooting and stuff for them. So we have this episode. We thought we'd take some of the questions or answer some of the questions we've had in the office, and people have been emailing, had some questions. And I know with the monsoon season kicking up and stuff, we're going to get some more type of pests. And with you being in the office, what are we getting? What kind of phone calls are we getting?
So the phone calls we're getting right now from our customers are going to be ants. We've been having a lot of calls for paradomestic roaches. The weeds, obviously, with the monsoon seasons coming up, the more rain we get, the more weeds we're going to see. So we're kind of through our normal, typical weed season right now. But as the year goes on, we're getting a lot of estimates calling in. People are starting to see the weeds pop up, and always best to treat them beforehand. But we're going to take care of them year round, and obviously the mosquitoes with the moisture, we're going to see a lot of the mosquitoes and flying pests.
Are there, speaking of mosquitoes, I know we've had episode of this before, but is there any new developments in any kind of repellents? Keep them out of your backyard?
There are a few. Of course, they're like the old standards that some people swear by. Other people say they don't do a thing, like the citronella candles, those incense sticks, or they're kind of like a coil, the mosquito coils, and you light those. And those actually have insecticide in them that is just kind of in a low dose, just kind of floating around in the air. There are new products. Thermacell is one of the companies. I know there's some others that make it essentially look like maybe like a Bluetooth speaker or like an air freshener, and they actually have these refillable little pads that have pyrethrin or pyrethroid in them, and it kind of gets really hot and essentially vaporizes that material into the air. It's a really low concentration, so it's not really a hazard for people or even other non-target insects, but it kind of creates a bubble that you're going to have. I don't know if it'll get rid of all mosquitoes, but certainly you'll have less of them around using those products. Yeah. I'm thinking about getting one, frankly.
Yeah.
In my backyard, I've got so many mosquitoes, and we like to hang out there, in the evening, and it's out of control.
Yeah, let us know how that goes. Mm-hmm. Like that. I saw actually yesterday in Idaho, there was a huge invasion of crickets, like just thousands and thousands of these houses just covered in crickets. And remind me, we get cyclical, invasions of things. And the last one I remember as a technician that was like really bad, and it was probably 15 years ago, maybe more than that, was moths. There's one year this moths were terrible. Like we got phone calls, and it was just terrible for like 2 or 3 weeks. Do you envision anything like that potential this summer?
I mean, you never know until you see it, right? I think if the moths were going to be here this year, we would have seen them already. I think it would have been come and gone for the moth migration. But we get grasshoppers sometimes pretty bad.
I remember the grasshoppers about 10 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
The crane flies as well.
I was talking with somebody that was out at the sod fields in Moriarty recently, and they said there are trillions of little small grasshoppers. So it might be interesting to see if they migrate this way.
Especially as they sell that sod to houses in Albuquerque.
Yeah,
right?
Exactly. Yeah, and sometimes it's like little different species of beetles will get, over the span of 3 weeks, just millions and millions of them appear seemingly out of nowhere, and then they just kind of run their course and they go away. But you never know until it happens, really. I don't know in any way to predict what it's going to be.
I know the kind of the thing that's been in the news a lot lately is what is it? The screwworm that's affecting cattle,
Yeah, the
livestock, or something.
New World screwworm, yeah.
And wasn't there something found in New Mexico recently?
Yeah, they found, I don't know if it was a cow or a dog that they found the screwworm in New Mexico. And so they're still trying to determine if it's like the flies are actually in here or if the animal came from Texas.
So
I'm not sure.
What are we worried about with those? Can it hurt humans? Is it just going to damage
They
livestock?
can, absolutely. I mean, it's usually more of an issue down in like tropical countries, but the fly, if you have like an open wound, they can lay the eggs, and then the maggots start infesting inside the open wounds, and they have to get removed. You can't there's nothing you can spray or eat. Like you have to have a doctor or somebody physically, pick them out of your body. And it's pretty gnarly.
And so I've heard some of the discussion in Texas, some of the debate for control, and they can do some things for the flies, but they're a little bit worried about it, like hitting non-target organisms too. Is that correct?
Yeah, well, the biggest control factor that I'm aware of is the mass raising and release of sterilized males. Okay. And you do that for mosquitoes too in South America with a lot, and I think some parts of North America with really good results. So it's just a matter of numbers, right? So if you release 10 million sterile male screwworms a week, that's going to overload the population of the non-sterile males and decrease the number of babies that are going to be able to be born. And so, I mean, you are always going to have an issue in inserting like a biological agent into the environment, right? Like we've seen that over and over and over again. But as far as I know, that's really the best way to keep their numbers down, is just essentially make it so that the females have a 1 in 20 chance of actually having a mate that can be viable.
How do they sterilize the males?
I think it's radiation, but I don't know.
Okay, interesting.
I don't know. But yeah, they're huge facilities that are just, all they do is just raise the screwworms and then sterilize the males and then release them in massive batches. Wow. Like millions and millions in a month.
Interesting stuff.
Yeah. And kind of gnarly and scary. Hopefully we can get a handle on it.
So the screwworms aren't a new bug. It's just a new problem that we're encountering right now.
Yeah, they were fully eradicated, quote unquote, eradicated from the United States back in the 60s, if I remember correctly. I mean, it's been an issue for a long time, and they were essentially fought down well into the southern part of Mexico, but they have made their way back.
We got a question here, kind of away from screw bugs a little bit. Can bed bugs live in a car?
Ooh, what do you think?
I mean, I think that they're anywhere that the host is living. I mean, if they can get into the seam, I mean, it's no different than if they're in your home. I would say, if they're in the seams of your bed, or you're laying there every night. If you're in your car enough and they can live off of you there, I'm sure that that's a possibility.
If you sleep in the car. Yeah. Now, one of the things that definitely comes to mind is like a control method for the bed bugs is high heat. And so if you've got that car parked anywhere and you've got temperatures outside the car that get anywhere close to like 90, 100 degrees, your temperature inside the car is going to be 20 to 30 degrees higher than that at least.
Yeah.
And that's enough to kill all the bed bugs.
Mm-hmm. So in Arizona, there's no bed bugs.
Yeah, not in cars.
Not in cars anyway.
So it'd almost have to be like a perfect storm of things. You'd have to probably have somebody sleeping in the car on a regular basis, have them introduced there somehow, have it in a cool enough area so they don't get killed and stuff. So I think that takes the probability of infesting a car down quite a bit.
This will probably scare some people though, because we've there's been stories of bed bugs on airplanes. Movie theaters has been a big uptick in bed bugs in movie theaters, and I got a phone call last summer from a dentist. In his dentist chair, one of his dentist chairs had bed bugs. He sent me pictures and had bed bugs in his dental chair. He said he had a patient and he saw those little bugs, and he worked in pest control a long time ago and saw bugs on it and took a picture, and sure enough, it was bed bugs, and he's kind of freaking out.
Yeah, we get a lot of calls from that on the commercial side. You know, once in every month or two, we'll get a call from some like maybe an accountant's office or like a senior center or something where they've got a lot of different people from the public coming in and sitting in waiting rooms, and they say, "Yep, somebody had bed bugs, so we have to go, proactively or out of an abundance of caution, actually treat waiting rooms and doctors' offices and things like that for that exact same reason."
Hospitals too, for sure.
Yeah, assisted living facilities too. Yeah.
Okay, another question that came in. What are the little flies on my houseplants? Best guess.
Probably fungus gnats, I would guess.
Fungus gnats, probably a good guess. Anything else they could be?
Could be white flies.
White flies, okay.
Yeah.
Do we see those more outside plants than inside?
I have,
plants?
yeah.
Okay.
I've seen them on indoor plants just a handful of times.
Okay.
But yeah, it's usually fungus gnats because those are super common.
And what's a good treatment or remedy for that?
Maybe waterless, that helps. Right, they're really abundant if there's just a ton of little fungus filaments in the soil for them to feed on. You can't really spray insecticide onto a plant or onto the soil. It really doesn't do anything to kill the larvae, and that's really the issue. You can buy stuff over the counter for fungus gnats. I'm sure a lot of people have seen those dunks for mosquitoes that kind of look like little donuts. There's some that are like little granules, and you can put them into standing water, and it kills mosquito larvae without hurting fish and that sort of thing. But you can use that same material and put it in like a watering pot. Excuse me. And let that steep for like maybe half an hour, and then water your plants with that, and that'll put the material down in the soil and actually kill the fly larvae down there too. Just make sure you read with everything, read the instructions on the label.
Cool. All right, I've got a joke for you guys.
What's that?
What would bears be without bees?
Hungry?
Ears.
Ears. Honeyless.
All right.
He tells jokes. He delivers them better than I do.
Winnie the Pooh would not be happy.
Oh, bother.
That's funny. Yeah, bees, man. It's bee season.
For sure, yeah.
Yeah, we are seeing a lot of
Pollinating
them.
time.
Yeah, we love them. Yep.
We've had a lot of phone calls about the stinging insects, whether it's be the bees, the bumblebees, the wasps,
Hornets.
ground wasps. We've had a lot of calls about this flying stinging pest this year.
Mm-hmm.
And what do you tell people?
For the most part, I mean, if they're invading the structure of your home, that's definitely something that causes a hazard to you and your family. So we're able to take care of those issues. A lot of times they're just pollinating around the plants. They're going to be coming and going. They really are no harm to you. I mean, I've walked right past a bush and been flying around my head, and they're not doing anything. They're there for the pollination and to move on. They're not really all that aggressive. Ground wasps, same thing. They see all these holes burrowed in their yard. They're not really there to do anything. They're very docile. You can walk through a field of them and nothing's going to happen. Unless
you're wearing a spider costume.
Unless you're wearing a spider costume, yeah, then they might try to sting you and put you down the hole. But
Have we done a pigeon show on here before?
Gosh,
Birds.
I don't know.
We have a question here. How do I keep pigeons off my roof? And I say just go buy an owl, plastic owl.
A sentry machine gun
That
mounted
works
on
really
the parapet.
I can't say that I know of any instances where the owl has worked. We only get the calls when the pigeons are just perching on top of the owl and crapping on its head.
Pooping on top of the owl's head.
I have heard from people that for a short period of time, the owl works. But once they realize that the owl is not going to do it, it's fake, that's when they start landing on it. So it's a very short term.
In my neighborhood, there's a lot of Spanish tile in the roofs, and there's a lot of pigeons there, and there's also quite a few owls, actual live owls flying around, and it doesn't seem to scare off the pigeons at all. So
They're out there playing cards.
pretty much, yeah.
So
Talking about the neighbors.
Got to commit to it. Got to get a live owl.
Yeah.
I have seen a couple hawks in the tree at my house, and I'm excited to see. I haven't seen any pigeons. We've got doves,
There you
but no
go.
pigeons there, so that's exciting.
Yeah, I lived in Corrales for a couple of years, and we had some horned owls that hung out there, and I really didn't see any pigeons at all. Didn't see a couple of cats after a while either sometimes.
Oh, that's sad.
They're good for mice control too. My dad's got a farm down in Belen, and we've got a couple owls down there, and between the cat and the owls, we don't have hardly any mice.
Yeah.
Nice.
At my old house, we had a flat roof and really in the center of town. And it used to annoy me. I'd be sitting in the living room. The couch is right underneath the downdraft for the swamp cooler. And you can hear the cooing and then like the footsteps, the little clickety-clack footsteps of the pigeons on the roof of the swamp cooler right above. It drove me insane. And of course, I had neighbors that would feed sunflower seeds all over their backyard to all the birds, and the pigeons get to those. So that's really a big thing, right? Is reduce your vulnerability. If you've got bird feeders where the pigeons are eating the food, maybe don't do that.
Yeah, I've definitely seen plenty of times when you get like the the swamp cooler, and then maybe there's an issue with leaking that's providing the pigeons some water, a little bit of shelter there, something to perch on, and then their feces starts to mix with that water, and it gets sucked in by the swamp cooler, and just things get nasty quick with that combination.
Yeah, there are secondary issues sometimes with birds. If you get a lot of like bird nests up on the roof, you can get bird mites. There's actually cockroaches will start to kind of live in their bedding, and it gets pretty gnarly. But yeah, there you can do things to keep them off of the edge of your roof. You can have bird wire, spike strips, kind of do the same thing, but they're a lot less attractive. You can even do trapping if needed. So there's some things, if the pigeons get out of control at the house, there are some things you can do.
Well, we can't leave an episode without a would you rather, right? Would you rather be able to speak to and control ants or spiders?
Ants, for sure.
I've always been way more fascinated with ants. Maybe it's like what we talked about with being in New Mexico.
You control ants. I can send it to my worst enemy's house. I hate
I guess you could do the same thing with spiders too. But
yeah, but they don't colonize. They don't have hundreds of thousands that can go wreak havoc, right?
Yeah. Go take them to a bank vault or something and say, "Hey, go fetch the."
Hey, they can carry a couple dollar bills out.
Yeah,
right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
We have added a tarantula onto our staff at the office lately. Maybe we can bring that in as a guest next time.
Yeah, thriving, living its best tarantula life.
For sure.
Yeah, I saw that.
Speaking of spiders, I had a question from a student a few weeks ago about what's your favorite kind of spider, and I don't know. I would have to say probably a jumping spider. I think those are pretty neat. That's probably my favorite. Those big eyes, they just seem more inquisitive. I think I'm probably anthropomorphizing it, but
I agree. Orb weavers are pretty. They're real big and they're scary looking, but they're pretty too. And
they got the pretty colors to them. That's what I would pick.
Those are cool.
Yeah.
The garden spider is pretty cool too. How the legs are kind of separated.
Yeah.
Real pretty colors on their web.
Bright,
too.
vibrant whites and greens and yellows, and I agree.
I personally just really like the big furry tarantulas myself. I don't know. I think there's something about a bug that can kind of disappear, and I can't see where it is. It bothers me more than anything. With those, it seems like it's more like a pet. It's like a dog. And I don't know. I've even been bit by one a little times. It's not a harsh bite, and they just seem so cool. They're so chill.
Yeah, the poster child for arachnophobia, right?
Right. I just like them.
Yeah. I do too. I think they're pretty neat. And this is the time of year, in about right between now and August, where you'll start seeing the males migrating too.
Right.
So, watch out for them. Don't drive over them. Take care. Let them be.
Well, we appreciate everyone's questions, and please feel free to keep sending them our way, and we'd be glad to answer them. And thank you guys for another good episode. And until next time.
Yeah.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks for having us.
Thanks.